Hello to the Sacred Heart University community. I'm Paul Healy, Executive Director of Public Safety and Emergency Management here at SHU. I'm here with Chief Gary McNamara of the Fairfield Police Department in support of our collective efforts to prepare and train for emergency incidents. This video presentation was prepared to inform our community members on how to respond to an active shooter incident.
We want all community members to know that Fairfield Police meet regularly with Sacred Heart Public Safety on an ongoing basis. We conducted a recent joint meeting with Sacred Heart Public Safety and our police partners from the communities of Bridgeport and Trumbull. Additionally, representatives of the Connecticut State Police and the Connecticut Department of Emergency Management and Homeland Security, Region 1, were present here at Sacred Heart University. Our purpose at such meetings is to collectively come together to talk about critical incident procedures. These are situations that could happen on university campus and involve acts of violence, including active shooter incidents. We review our active shooter protocol so that lessons learned from incidents that happened across the nation are implemented here on how to respond if such an incident were to occur.
Thank you, Chief McNamara. Please give this important safety video your attention as Assistant Director of SHU Public Safety, Ed Shea, guides you through his presentation.
Thank you, Paul. And welcome, everyone. As Paul said, my name is Ed Shea. I'm the Assistant Director of Public Safety here at Sacred Heart University. I developed this presentation to help make our community members more aware of what to do in the event of an emergency. One of the most important ones that I'm sure everybody's been thinking about. Unfortunately, there's been far too much of this in the news, so let's talk about this a little bit. What is an active shooter? A person actively engaged in killing or attempting to kill people with a firearm. So what should you do? First thought, run. If you can run to a safe location, get out of there and run. Call 911 when you get to a point of safety and alert them what's going on. Give them as much information as you possibly can. But whenever possible, that's your first avenue. If you can't run, then I want you to hide. Hide, take cover, lock and barricade those doors. Follow those lockdown steps that we just went through. That's your second mode. If I can't run, I'm going to hide. And if I can't hide, then I'm going to fight. If I can't get out of there and I can't get away and the threat is in front of me, I'm going to be prepared to fight. You also have to be prepared for this if that suspect manages to get through that barricade, through that locked door, or the situation presents itself to you. Be prepared. And again, I'm not trying to scare people, but you're fighting for your life if that situation occurs. So, anything becomes a weapon for you to defend yourself at that point. This goes back to the situational awareness. Know what things are available to you. Think about it ahead of time. Everything that you don't normally think of as a weapon could help you in this situation. A chair, a fire extinguisher, your telephone, your laptop computer, a can of spray disinfectant, anything that's nearby, anything that's in your workspace or around that area that can help you fend off that attacker becomes a weapon at that point for you. And remember, there's strength in numbers. If you're in a workplace situation, there's going to be others with you. So coordinate your efforts. And again, goes back to the prior planning and the preparation. Talk to each other, have a plan in mind, understand what to do. Or in that situation, if you're in a lockdown situation, talk to each other. What would we do if somebody comes through that door? Think about it ahead of time. Know what each person is going to do. Your coordinated efforts could be the key to surviving it. And in a very simple statement that's a great quote from Teddy Roosevelt, do what you can with what you have where you are. I've used this quote many times. It applies to a lot of different aspects of life, but it is extremely appropriate for an active shooter or a violent situation that you're faced with. You do whatever you can with what you have wherever you are to survive. So, if this tragedy were to occur, what would SHU Public Safety be doing? So let's go through this a little bit. The role of public safety is going to be to obtain and relay information to the responding police. We're going to do that through a variety of methods, and we're going to share that information out to you through the EAS system. Again, as I said, maybe very limited information. We may not be able to tell you everything. We may not know everything yet, but we're going to get you as much information as we can to help you prepare yourself. We're going to be using all kinds of tools available to us. We're going to be using information from officers in the field, phone calls we may be receiving, our camera system that will be researching and looking to see where a suspect may be or what's going on in a particular building. We're going to use all of that information and convey it to the responding police to help them be better prepared to go in there. We're going to activate a remote lockdown system wherever applicable. Some buildings, some locations have a remote lock system where we can activate a lockdown from dispatch. This is another system that we'd like to develop further as we go further into the future here and have this capability in many, if not all, of our locations. But for now, it's in certain locations, and that's where we would activate it. Our personnel are going to be restricting access and establishing a perimeter control. The key is we already have an emergency situation on the campus. We don't want anybody else coming into it and making it any worse. So our personnel would be immediately restricting access so nobody else gets on campus, nobody else gets into that building or that location, and try to contain that situation the best we can. And we're going to coordinate and direct the responding police resources. As much as the police may be on campus now and seeing the facilities a little better, they still may have difficulty navigating through a classroom or a hallway or finding a location. The public safety personnel who respond to campus, who patrol on this campus every day, are going to help in that response by directing the resources where they need to go. We're going to coordinate and assist with evacuations as people are coming out of the buildings. The role of public safety officers is going to be to help coordinate that, help find locations, help organize that, and make sure that people are safe wherever they've evacuated to. And we're going to activate the emergency plan. And as part of that entails assembling our crisis communication team. This is a team of professionals who are designated to begin compiling information, developing press releases and information out to the public. If an active shooter situation occurs on this campus, everybody is going to want to know about it. We're going to be inundated with requests for information, media coverage, all sorts of things, and we need a team of people whose job it is to create the information and communicate with those people so that we're getting information out to the public and to the rest of our community. We're going to issue updated messages as soon as practical. As soon as we know something more, we're going to let you know more. And we'll issue the all clear message once an incident has been resolved. So what to expect from the police? Most people have never contemplated this and probably have never been in a situation where you've seen a controlled, very forceful response by police to a serious emergency situation like this. So thinking about it ahead of time and hopefully giving you a little bit of knowledge of what you may see and hear and experience will help minimize that fear. The police are going to be responding quickly and in large numbers. When a call goes out for an emergency situation like an active shooter, police from all around the area are going to be responding to help. So you're going to see officers from several departments, and they may be in a variety of different uniforms. There may be plainclothes officers there. They're going to have a variety of uniforms, as I said, a multitude of weapons. You'll see handguns, rifles, shotguns. You'll see many different things that they may be bringing to that situation. Weapons are going to be drawn, and they're going to be proceeding rapidly and forcefully toward the threat. That's what they're trained to do. That's their job. Go into that building, go find that threat, and eliminate it. Remember, this is very, very important, critically important for you to remember. The officers who are arriving on scene do not know who that shooter is. That means they don't know where the threat is coming from. So if you come out of your safe place or you come down the hallway at those officers, they do not know in that moment if you are the threat or you're a victim of this emergency. So they're going to be very, very cautious. That is not the time to approach them and ask a question. It's not the time to tell them who you are or your title or your role in the university. It's a time for you to put your hands up, fingers spread out in a universal sign that you're not a threat, and then follow anything they tell you to do. Promptly follow their directions. Keep your hands visible at all times, as I just said. The active shooter response protocols for law enforcement dictate that the officers arrive, the very first officer on scene, is going to go into that situation and seek out that shooter to stop that situation from happening. That's their job. That's what they're there to do. Not wait, but to go into that danger. They're not going to be able to stop and assist people who are injured. I know that sounds a little bit cold from a civilian standpoint, but it's what the police are trained to do now. That threat needs to be stopped. What's going to happen, though, is as additional officers arrive, a rescue team will be developed. A team of officers prepared to go in there behind those responding officers and get to those people who are injured, get them out to safety and to the medical treatment that they may need. As officers clear various rooms and buildings, this is going to be a slow, methodical, systematic approach to clearing a building if they don't know where the threat is. Follow any instructions that they give you. As they clear your area, they're going to want you out of there now. So they're going to send you to a location. It may not be your initial emergency evacuation point. Go wherever they direct you to and remain there. And as I think I said earlier, don't unlock doors or come out of hiding unless you're certain that it's the emergency personnel telling you to do so. Remain at whatever assembly point you're instructed to go to until you're told otherwise. This is very important because once the situation is neutralized and the threat has been eliminated, now the investigation begins. That means officers are going to want to talk to people who are in that building, who may have seen or experienced things. They're going to need to talk to you. They're going to need to get a lot of information. So remain wherever you are and be patient with the investigation as it proceeds forward. This is a little video for you that was created by the Department of Homeland Security. And it's a couple of minutes long, and it goes through various steps of what we've just talked about. It's a nice representation of a lot of the factors that we just showed, and it's a graphic representation showing you what to expect. So I'm going to play this video for you, and then we're going to come back and discuss it.
It may feel like just another day at the office, but occasionally, life feels more like an action movie than reality. The authorities are working hard to protect you and to protect our public spaces. But sometimes bad people do bad things. Their motivations are different. The warning signs may vary, but the devastating effects are the same. And unfortunately, you need to be prepared for the worst. If you were ever to find yourself in the middle of an active shooter event, your survival may depend on whether or not you have a plan. The plan doesn't have to be complicated. There are 3 things you could do that make a difference: run, hide, fight. First and foremost, if you can get out, do. Always try and escape or evacuate, even when others insist on staying. Encourage others to leave with you, but don't let them slow you down with indecision. Remember what's important, you, not your stuff. Leave your belongings behind and try to find a way to get out safely. Trying to get yourself out of harm's way needs to be your #1 priority. Once you are out of the line of fire, try to prevent others from walking into the danger zone and call 911. If you can't get out safely, you need to find a place to hide. Act quickly and quietly. Try to secure your hiding place the best you can. Turn out lights, and if possible, remember to lock doors. Silence your ringer and vibration mode on your cell phone. And if you can't find a safe room or closet, try to conceal yourself behind large objects that may protect you. Do your best to remain quiet and calm. as a last resort. If your life is at risk, whether you are alone or working together as a group, fight. Act with aggression. Improvise weapons. Disarm him. And commit to taking the shooter down, no matter what. Try to be aware of your environment. Always have an exit plan. Know that in an incident like this, victims are generally chosen randomly. The event is unpredictable and may evolve quickly. The first responders on the scene are not there to evacuate or tend to the injured. They are well trained and are there to stop the shooter. Your actions can make a difference for your safety and survival. Be aware and be prepared. And if you find yourself facing an active shooter, there are 3 key things you need to remember to survive. Run, hide, fight.
So some information that you should already have on hand. Most people in this community, I hope, already have these numbers programmed into your phone. If you don't, I suggest you do it. The routine number for public safety, 371-7995 or extension 7995. And for emergency calls, 371-7911 or 911. My name is Ed Shea, Assistant Director with Department of Public Safety. I look forward to working with all of you as we continue to enhance and spread the knowledge and information for our emergency response programs and procedures. Thank you.
I want to thank Chief McNamara for being here today and thank Ed for additional information on how to prepare for any campus emergency situation. Please watch the Sacred Heart University All Hazard Emergency Training video and review the frequently asked questions information located on the public safety website under Emergency Management. Please know that public safety officials are available to meet with individual departments or staff and faculty groups to review these important security procedures. From SHU Public Safety, I'm Paul Healy, and thank you for your attention.